Morning guys from Oban, Scotland, the gateway to the Isles, and today I'm going to be taking a ferry with Caledonian MacBrayne from here all the way over to the Isle of Coll, and it's going to take about 3 hours to get there, and then the ship actually goes on to Tiree and it comes back, picks me up later, so I've got a few little things to do when I get to Coll. And why don't you come with me, we'll get on the ferry and I will see you on board. It was really quiet in Oban, though it wasn't particularly early, around 8:15 in the morning. As I made my way to the ferry terminal, there seemed to be this kind of pink hue in the sky around the harbour, which led me to believe it was going to be a pretty nice day weather-wise. I was expecting to see the usual ferry on our route, MV Clansman, but instead we had MV Lord of the Isles, one of the largest and most travelled members of the Caledonian MacBrayne ferry fleet. And I'll tell you a lot more about this vessel a little bit later on, but first we'll go and have a look at the terminal facilities here in Oban, probably the largest of all the Caledonian MacBrayne departure points. There are two passenger walkways, as you can see here, giving access to two vessels side by side in the harbour. Now in port today was our ship here, and next to it was the MV Hebridean Isles, which was making the 5.5 hour crossing to Uist, part of the Outer Hebrides. Now as you enter the building, you have the tickets and reservations counters to your left, access to a cafe just to the left of them, a few seats, and the central stairs up to the first floor departure area. Upstairs then you have the two gates, gate 2 here, which was our ship for Coll and Tiree, departing at 0900. Now note there's lift access if you can't use the stairs, lots more seating, vending machines, TV screens, and the other gate, gate 1, which was for the Uist ferry, leaving slightly earlier at 0830. Now it was very quiet up here, as you can see, approximately half a dozen foot passengers for our ship, I would say, no more than that. We were called for boarding about 15 minutes prior to departure. Ticket checked, I followed the other passengers and crew down the link bridge and onto the ship. Access was via this small open deck space here on deck 4. Now, as I made my way on board, I caught a glimpse of the iconic McCaig's Tower, which overlooks the town from Battery Hill.
Morning.
Morning.
Alright?
Yeah, not bad, you?
You good? Not bad?
A friendly welcome from a couple of crew members. Yeah, there would be plenty of time to look around the interior of the ship a little bit later on, but as always, I headed outside first to watch our ferry leaving port. Yeah, I tell you what, that's not a bad view, is it, that? Let's be honest. It's fantastic, and it's looking like it's going to be a good day, isn't it? So, yeah, pretty calm, and no wind expected, unlike tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get some great views of the sailing over to Coll. Let's have a bit more of an explore anyway, see what we find. Yes, plenty of deck space up here on deck 5 on both port and starboard sides. And as we head towards the stern, there are stairs down to deck 4 and stairs up to deck 6 right at the top of the ship. Now I guess you could call this the sun deck, but yeah, as you can see, it was pretty icy on this cold winter morning. Oh yeah, sure is icy up here. But we're up here, and that's the thing, isn't it? Deck space is brilliant on this ferry. So I get right up to the top, and there's at least 2 other decks down there where I can get some great views of the crossing. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic. I'm really looking forward to this. As the lines were hauled aboard, an extensive safety message played and we moved away from the dock.
Thank you for your attention, and on behalf of Caledonian MacBrayne, we wish you a safe, relaxing and pleasant time on board.
I think it's safe to say that was a fairly comprehensive safety announcement, wasn't it? So thank you for your attention. We didn't have much choice really, we was blasting around all areas of the ship, which you should be, of course. The sun was just about rising from behind the town now as we began to head out to sea. Another Calmac vessel, the MV Isle of Lewis, was heading into port on our starboard side, and I suspect this was coming in from Castle Bay on Barra, another of the islands you can reach from Oban. It really is a busy port, this, as well as the islands I've already mentioned. You can also reach Colonsay, Isla, Lismore and Mull. Have I missed anywhere else? Possibly. Please let me know in the comments below. Anyway, yeah, it really was a fantastic morning. The light was just amazing. Enjoy the views with me, then we'll head inside and have a bit of a look around some of the ship. Right, let's go inside ship number 573, built by Appledore Ferguson Limited at the port of Glasgow, Scotland, and launched in 1989. Now down the stairs onto deck 4 we have a load of storage racks here for your luggage. And then we enter the coffee cabin. Probably my favourite part of the interior this was. They've actually got decent coffee, and you can get other drinks including alcohol, snacks, and as you can see directly to the left of the counter there's a small shop too. Doors lead from here out onto the outside deck space at the stern and sides. Now the main cafeteria is also on this deck, the Mariner's Cafe. I would describe this space as, just cafeteria I suppose. It's for all your proper meals. Prices were good, around £11 for a full breakfast with a drink, and about £13 for a main meal. I didn't try the food, I'd already eaten back at the hotel, but yeah, if you've had Calmac food before, please let me know your thoughts in the usual way. To the side of the Mariner's Cafe is a quiet lounge with airline style seating, and behind that a TV lounge and the information desk. It's probably a good couple of hours spent sailing between Mull and the mainland, passing Duet Castle on Mull, and also the ferry ports of Craignure, Fishnish and Lochaline on the mainland. And it's still pretty cold out on deck, and as you can see the views are dramatic, but there's hardly anybody on board to appreciate them. I'm sure it's a very different picture in the summer though. The MV Lord of the Isles, or Lottie as she is affectionately known, has a capacity of 505 passengers and 56 cars. The service speed is 16 knots, and at a length of 279 feet is one of the largest vessels in the Caledonian MacBrayne fleet. And I didn't see a deck plan as such, but apparently she's the only ship that still has passenger cabins, and I presume that's probably for the longer journeys that she would normally undertake. Anyway, yeah, we're passing the remote Drimnin estate now on our starboard side, the location of Drimnin House, which you may just be able to make out it's the white building there halfway up the hill. Now, I stayed there once for a week, and yeah, the weirdest thing, right, I opened the door one morning and there was a llama walking past. I kid you not. Obviously this is where these pictures have all come from though. It was going back a bit, 2010, a fantastic place though, it really was. And opposite Drimnin is the main settlement on Mull, Tobermory. And we passed a little bit too far off the shore really for me to get any decent video, but yeah, it's a really picturesque place with its multicoloured houses, whisky distillery, museum, aquarium and arts centre. Again, here's a picture of my visit there a few years back. And as we reach Tobermory Lighthouse, a beautiful double rainbow appears in the sky above us, reaching right over to Arden and Merkin. Is there a pot of gold somewhere in those hills? Well, for anyone living there that appreciates peace and solitude, they may argue they've already found it. It takes about 2 hours to navigate the Sound of Mull, and as we leave its shelter, the sea becomes a little less calm. No issues on a day like today though, and we begin to head west-southwest now towards Coll. Time to have a look at the rest of the interior of our ship on deck 5. And yeah, well, there's not much to see really, to be honest. You have access from both sides of the ship to this sort of area where the toilets are located, and also leading off from here is the observation lounge, which I filmed way back in Oban. Good space here for just relaxing and browsing the internet if you get bored of the scenery. Yes, the ship has onboard and free Wi-Fi. Once I'd found a decent spot to connect, it was excellent, streaming YouTube and other social media, absolutely no problem at all. Like I said, the scenery was amazing, but if you really want to do it, I recommend the observation lounge by the recycling bin for a super strong Wi-Fi signal. Right, so let's get back outside again because we'd soon be nearing Coll, and I was super keen to enjoy a bit more sea air in the hour or so we had left. Oh, and by the way guys, if you enjoy this kind of content, I would really appreciate it if you could leave me a like and maybe even subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. It really helps me out and enables me to keep making content for you guys to watch. And all my trips are self-funded. I don't get any free tickets, free travel or anything like that, and that means I'm able to bring you 100% honest reviews of all my trips, good and bad. Thank you very much. Approaching Coll then, Lottie reaches the sheltered waters of Loch Ithana and just before the pier does a 180-degree turn and reverses, if that's the right word, onto the jetty. This is indicated by a yellow horizontal bar here. Honestly, these guys must have done this 1,000 times, but I really appreciate the skill of the crew manoeuvring such a large vessel so precisely into port. Foot passengers were soon called to disembark, and for this it was just a case of making our way down to the vehicle deck, waiting for clearance from the crew members down there, and then just walking off the ship. For some reason I decided to walk across a boggy field to a rock from where I decided it was a good vantage point from which to watch the ship leave. Right then guys, so Isle of Coll, yeah, and the ferry it's just going through its half-hour long safety announcement again, and then it's heading off to the Isle of Tiree and coming back here I hope it's coming back here on the way back to Oban to pick me up. But as it happens, I am here now and I'm going to have a bit of a wander around and see what I can find. And yeah, off it goes, and hopefully the weather stays nice. It's not too bad, is it? A little bit of wind about, but honestly, it could be a lot worse considering it's the end of January. So yeah, come with me. We'll go and have a look, see what we can find, and yeah, I'll catch you in a little bit. Right guys, so yeah, probably about 200 yards away from the ferry terminal. First thing I've come to, which I wasn't really expecting to find, I've got to admit, is this, which, yeah, well, maybe you guys will know what this is, leave me a comment. It's some kind of cannon to fire at ships. I don't know really. Let me know in the comments below if you know. But yeah, interesting. It's seen better days, I would suggest. A little bit rusty, but yeah, anyway, that's something to look out for, isn't it? And we'll carry on walking and see what we find next. After the gun emplacement, we come to the largest settlement on the isle, which I'll try and pronounce Arinagoa. We're just over half a mile from the ferry terminal at this point, and it's a quiet kind of place at this time of year, with a row of old fishermen's cottages on the left of the main road here. I wonder how many of these are holiday lets. And then we come to the main hub of the village, where I think if you are staying for a few days, really does have everything you need pretty close to hand. You've got a pub and a cafe on the main street, closed unsurprisingly when I was there. Post office, the local and only shop I presume, the Isle of Coll distillery, a community centre, a petrol station, a fire station, and a few accommodation choices including a bunkhouse and the Coll Hotel here just overlooking the bay. I made my way up a track to the left of the hotel and past one of two churches here, the New Church as it was called. And there are two main reasons why I'd chosen to come to Coll. The first was because I'd never been here before and the ferry times were good. The second, well, yeah, Coll has some fantastic beaches by the looks of it, but they were simply just too far away in the time I had available. So here I was plodding down a single track road trying to find the only other potentially interesting and reachable point of interest on the isle, the Devil's Seat. Now, it sounds pretty cool, right? Well, yeah, fortunately, I saw a picture of it the night before when I was looking on Google Maps. Otherwise, to be honest, I think I would have just probably walked straight past it. And here it was, a bit of rock on the side of the road. Now, I'd like to believe that if you sit on it, you can summon the devil and the sky will go black and yeah, all sorts of hideous things like demons will start dancing around you and summoning up evil spirits and starting fires and stuff. Sadly, none of that happened. Do you know what? I had a job getting over to the stone in the first place, but yeah, once I had made it, I just sat there for 5 minutes, during which time absolutely nothing changed, and all I ended up getting for my troubles was a soaking wet behind. But here's the thing though, right? All the other stones in the immediate area were dry. I know, yeah, worked that one out. Anyway, time was getting on and I needed to start making my way back. It had rained a bit during my visit, and yeah, by the time I got back to the pier, I was grateful for the waiting room at the ferry terminal. It is open and manned when ferries are expected, and yeah, I had to give my name just to let them know I was returning, I guess. I went back up through the boggy field to watch the ferry arrive, and once she had docked, boarding was, again, via the vehicle ramp. I much prefer boarding a ship this way. It kind of feels more exciting somehow. And what about you? And let me know your experiences in the comments below. And overall, I really enjoyed my short time on Coll. I mean, you can fly here with Hebridean Air Services Limited or Logan Air, but for me, arriving and departing by ferry is much more of an adventure. I'll definitely be back, but I'd like to explore the isle properly next time, so that would probably necessitate a stay in the bunkhouse or the hotel, I would assume. Price I paid for the ferry was £19 adult foot passenger return, and not bad value that for a full day out, I didn't think. Anyway, the next few hours on the ferry for me were just about relaxing and enjoying the views. As we sailed back down the Sound of Mull, the light was beginning to fade and it would be pretty much dark once we'd reached Oban again, but before that though, I just found a couple of minutes to go back out on deck and summarise up the journey. Alright then guys, just making our way down the Sound of Mull on the MV Lord of the Isles Caledonia MacBrayne's 1989 35-year-old ferry. And I'll tell you what, I've had a brilliant day today, not just on the ferry, but also wandering around the Isle of Coll. Hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly did. I'm a bit tired, I've got to admit. Maybe I'll take a day off tomorrow. The weather is, yeah, it's supposed to be getting pretty windy. Yeah, no great sunsets tonight either, so yeah, maybe it's going off a bit. We'll see what happens in the morning, won't we? That's all you can do. Anyway, thanks very much for joining me on this adventure. I hope you can join me on another one pretty soon. I'm sure there's much more coming down the track. So until then, guys, as always, cheers for now.